Hi there, I'm Ads from Herman's RV Holidays, and in this video this is going to be a part 2 of our solar planning or solar design or solar fitting Herman with solar. In the last video I was kind of umming and ahhing about what to do and kind of looking at what the choices are. In this video I'm going to tell you my progress. So first of all, thank you to everyone on Facebook and on YouTube who helped us out with suggestions and comments. They've been most helpful. I've learned an awful lot since the last video. So what have I found out? So I've gone around the motorhome. I've purchased one of these. This is a voltmeter, amp meter. It's a meter. You can plug some wires in the bottom of it, some prods, and you can set it to wrap a cable around like this and find out how many amps and volts can go through, is going through when it's being used. So I've been using this, plugging in my USB, things like my phone and my laptop, into a USB port and going around the back of it and finding out how many amps and volts there are. I've been putting it onto a chart, a table, and giving me my calculations about how many amps, volts and all that kind of thing. And I'll give you a little link in the description as well. But now this is all only 12 volt. The 230 volt, I thought I'd ignore all that because I don't think we have anything that's going to be using 230 volts that what we're not going to use when we're wild camping. So it's just the batteries, and I'm just working out how many volts we're going to be using and what our battery consumption is. I've even got on here calculations such as how many watt hours we're going to be using and how many days we're going to be wild camping, how many hours of sunlight we're probably going to be expecting, system percentage loss on here as well. So it works out that our total watt hours is around about 80. Our solar, we're expecting probably around about 40 watts of solar coming through. All right, so let me show you my biggest headache when thinking about the solar. In the last video, I was wondering whether or not I could connect the solar controller to the batteries directly, or maybe I could go through the EBL. This is this thing here, because just there, just in there, there and here says solar, right? So this connector here, around the back here, and this is its 10 amp solar fuse. This is an Electroblock EBL 1043, and this is reliable apparently, but unfortunately it is not capable of dealing with large amounts of batteries or large amounts of solar wattage. It will shut down. It thinks there's a problem and it will shut down. It is not it hasn't got any tolerance about having lots of batteries, lots of watts, lots of amps. It will just shut down. If it's and if you get more than 10 amps of solar, then it will obviously blow the fuse. So that's been my headache, and I've had lots of comments about this. I've had lots of help. So I'm not gonna plug into to the EBL. We're gonna avoid it. And we're going to stick for the moment with a small solar array. We're going to stick with the battery we have at the moment, which is a Vata 90 amp hour. I forgot its full name right now. We're going to stick with that because you saw on the chart, right, we're only dealing with 80 watt hours, and of course we don't want to drop it down to 50% or lower because that would damage the battery. So we just and we're not too sure what we're going to be doing, right? We just started doing a bit of wild camping, so I don't believe we need anything big. I was thinking big because I've had everything on that list, including the oven and the hair dryers and the straighteners and whatever, but I really don't think we're going to be needing any of that. The big thing is, because I create content for YouTube, the big thing is the laptop, because of course every day I'm on the laptop making some videos, and that is a necessity, I think, unless of course I do it when I get home. So that was the big worry, but I found out that my laptop can be charged via the USB port. I mean, how cool is that? And the calculations say, or the testing says that it's 0.5 of an amp, which seems a bit low to me. I'm sure it's going to be about 3 amps, but that's what it was drawing when I did my test. Yeah, so next thing I wanted to show you was what we're deciding about where things are going. We're thinking of putting the solar panel on this side, on the roof of course, all the way along here, and it'll finish about here. We need to look and do a bit of shopping. I have been doing some shopping, but I really didn't want it to extend too far on the roof, because in case we wanted to put more on the front, and that doesn't leave us much room. So we're thinking about trying to find one that fits in this location here, just beside the roof light. I have noticed though that the roof bars and the roof light itself can cause a small shadow, so we may decide something else later on. But anyway, it's going to come through here, through the locker just here, and we're going to run it down here, bit of conduit. I think I showed you this in the last video, and then we're going to the battery's just underneath here. In fact, you can see the cable for the solar panel that we got, small. So that's the battery under there, and we just need to route the cable to this location here. Now we're going to go up through here, and of course the other thing is the starter battery. So we're going to have to say the controller was around here, or actually we think we'll probably put it here. The controller will be around here, and it'll have to go back up along. See that bit of conduit just there? That goes all the way to the other side of the bed and runs down here. There's a cable in there already, and then through the dash down there and into the engine bay, and of course I'll have to route it through the engine bay. So that's our plan at the moment. I think it's a good plan. I think it's a good plan to avoid the electric block. Connecting to the EBL would have been the easiest option, but I don't think it's the best option. And in my initial thinking, I was thinking lots of watts and lots of solar panels, but thinking about it and thinking about diversity as well, you know, when things get switched on, you're not going to have the heater on, the laptop, the whatever, the water pumps, the lights, and you're not going to have them all on all day, are you? So that's something you've got to consider as well. So we're going to start small, and if we do decide that wild camping is our thing, then we have an option to improve that by having an extra solar array. So we'd have bigger panels, and I'm thinking that they would go at the front, and then we would have another controller block, possibly maybe coming through here, down the side here, and we will store the batteries underneath this chair here. We'll have plugged an inverter into it, so it's completely separate away from that EBL headache in the corner. If we had a modern EBL, of course, yeah, we would just throw batteries at it. So that is our plan. So I hope that has enlightened everybody, and we're on the right path. If you think otherwise, do let us know in the comments below. We'd really like to any other piece of advice. We're not going big. We're just going to start off as realistic as possible. Anything else you want to add to that?
I have been listening, taking note.
Right. But you were following me though when we was walking around. Yeah.
I've done all the measurements. So
she's helped me with the measurements on the roof,
she's been the assistant.
Yeah,
yes.
held the torch and things.
If it all goes wrong with the size, we know who to blame.
Anyway, thank you very much for watching. See you in the next video. Adios.
Ta-ta.
Ta-ta.
Thanks for watching our video. Give us a thumbs up if you enjoyed or leave a comment. And don't forget to subscribe for more video updates or maybe even watch one of our previous videos. Bye bye now.